Kazuo Shiraga was a seminal Japanese avant-garde painter and performer, best known for creating explosive canvases with his feet while suspended by a rope. A founding member of the Gutai Art Association, he helped redefine post-war art by fusing action, material, and performance into a single, high-intensity practice. Raised in the Kansai region during a period of upheaval, Shiraga trained in traditional techniques before turning decisively toward experimentation in the early 1950s. In 1952, he co-founded the Zero Group with peers who rejected academic constraints and embraced raw materiality. Meeting artist leader Jirō Yoshihara the following year, he joined Gutai, an Ashiya-based collective dedicated to concreteness, urging artists to let materials assert their own vitality. Within this milieu, Shiraga found the ideal framework for a practice that treated the studio like a dojo and the canvas like an arena. Shiraga's breakthrough was both physical and conceptual. In performances and paintings begun mid-decade, he laid canvases on the floor, poured or troweled mounds of oil paint, gripped a rope hung from the ceiling, and swung his body across the surface, pushing and scumbling pigment with his feet. The resulting works, thick, ridged, and turbulent, recorded balance, momentum, and gravity as pictorial events. Critics linked the method to action painting, but Shiraga's approach was distinct. It drew on martial arts discipline, calligraphic speed, and a deliberately self-imposed handicap, painting without hands, to purge habit and ego. His famous 1955 performance, Challenging Mud, in which he wrestled in a pit of wet earth, made the struggle with material literal, while the rope and feet canvases translated that struggle into lasting form. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, Shiraga exhibited widely with Gutai as European critics such as Michel Tapier introduced the group to international audiences. He often titled paintings after heroes from the Chinese classic Water Margin, Suikoden, channeling the novel's fierce energy and emphasizing the work's bodily courage. The palette favored intense crimson, black, and ivory, though he continually tested new chromatic combinations. Despite the violence of their making, the paintings are not chaotic. They pivot on an inner rhythm, bursts, pauses, and countermoves that turns movement into composition. In 1971, at the height of his acclaim, Shiraga entered Buddhist religious training at Enryaku-ji on Mount Hiei, later serving as a Tendai monk while continuing to paint. The decision was not a retreat from art, but an ethical recalibration. The discipline of daily practice deepened his attention to breath, timing, and restraint. Later canvases often feel more concentrated, their gestures fewer and more decisive. He spoke of unifying mind and body so that action arrives before intention, an idea resonant with Zen and with the spontaneity long prized in East Asian ink traditions. Even at their most frenetic, his paintings became meditations on presence. From the late 1980s onward, renewed global interest in Gutai and performance-rooted abstraction placed Shiraga's oeuvre at the center of post-war art history. Museum surveys and scholarly reassessments foregrounded him as a pioneer who collapsed boundaries between painting, sculpture, and dance, between studio object and lived event. Younger artists found in his methods a model for activating the body without theatrical excess, and for allowing materials to speak through resistance rather than submission. Shiraga died in 2008, leaving a body of work that is as much trace as image. Records of weight transferred through a rope, of heels carving channels in wet pigment, of decisions made at the speed of a heartbeat. His legacy endures not simply as a spectacular technique, but as a proposition about freedom, discipline intense enough to liberate instinct, and material stubborn enough to meet it. In that charged interval, he located painting's post-war destiny, to be a courageous act, as immediate as a footprint, and as enduring as the dried ridges it leaves behind.